start just a moment of silence out of respect to our colleague, the journalist from Mali, who lost his life in bed. Just a moment of silence and respect. And pray as well. Thank you very much. Now we start all our meetings in CAF with a prayer. Every single one of the meetings. I know the first one they said, President, we don't have the culture of prayer. I said, no, well, I have the privilege of growing up in a multi-religious environment, and religion plays an important role, not just in our beliefs, but also in values, in ethics, in integrity, and that usually translates into governance and respect. So I'll make a few brief remarks, and then, in fact, just before I go into that, yesterday we donated $500,000. Again, it's not about the money; it's about the respect and the recognition of the important role that religion plays in the lives of all of us, all our religions. And so we made, and we did the same thing in Cameroon. So we've got a policy that whenever there's an AFCON, the Moutsepe Foundation, the family foundation, makes a humble donation to the religious organizations in those countries. So we made a donation to our Christian Catholic faith as well as to our Muslim faith in Cameroon, and we did the same in Côte d'Ivoire, and it was an honor and a privilege to do the same yesterday. Of course, we are about football, and football is what we're excited about, but we also recognize that the best football in the world is in an environment where people respect each other, and economic growth and investment in infrastructure and facilities, stadiums, football pitches, schools, football, and a growing economy. And we've also said that religion unites our people across different religious, ethnic, and racial backgrounds. Okay, let's go to the football now. And what is important for me is not just to come and tell you what our assessment is, but also to hear from you what your assessment is, including your criticism, because sometimes in my upbringing, the most important thing is to listen to perceived areas of weakness, perceived areas of failure. It's an important opportunity to learn, and it contributes to all of us becoming better. And our objective is very clear objective. African football must be amongst the best in the world, the most successful. It starts on the field of play. We have to win in Africa, and we have to win at the highest level in the world. So what particularly also excites me about this AFCON is its preparation for our national teams, those that will be representing us in the World Cup. So, in life, people respect you on results. They don't come and talk about your plans, your strategies, and how beautiful it is, the football in Africa is. What are the fans saying? Because the fans will not watch African football if it is not exciting and attractive. So I'm so proud of the work that every one of the 54 member associations that are members of CAF and who represent 54 countries on the African continent, we've made good progress. But we set very high standards for ourselves, very high standards. And we take motivation from the accessible, quantifiable successes, but we're very clear that there is still significant progress to be made. There's still work to be done, and we want to be as good as the best. So I was watching the match between Nigeria. In fact, I've watched. Part of my plan was to watch every nation. So I'm happy that every one of the 24 nations that came for the AFCON, I had the honor and the privilege of watching every single one of them. And but it's also it's also a learning experience for me, because to see how the referees are officiating. And again, you know, I had a meeting with the referees before the match, before the AFCON, and I said, no, guys, listen, we've got so much confidence in your quality, in your integrity, in your credibility, in your ethics, but the test is not what the president thinks. The test is not what CAF thinks. The test is what those millions of football lovers think. And we can give them the best technical explanation. It was not hand to ball, I don't know, it was foot, or I don't know, or even, I don't want to say toe, knee to hand, it's a penalty. And I want to say to you what I said yesterday to all the 54 presidents of the 54 African countries. Under no circumstances will any single country in Africa be treated better, more preferential than any other country. It's never going to happen, not whilst I'm president. Every single one of the 54 countries in Africa are going to be treated with all the respect, all the dignity, and all the recognition they deserve. And that's what our commitment is, but of course we've got to listen. And when people say, but why is it that the referees seem to, and the VAR operators, and I don't know, and this country called, I can't call it Azania, let me call it Afro, I don't know, Afro-Europe or Afro-Asia. It's the 54th country. So I'm very happy that, and we can't be oblivious to what the podcast and the media is saying, because I watch TV as well. So when the commentators say, but that was a red card, or why did it not go to VAR, or why was that not a penalty? Our credibility depends on what ordinary football supporters and fans in Africa and Europe, and we will consistently improve, train, and make sure that the referees, the VAR operators, and the match commissioners are world class. This has indeed been the most successful CAF, the single most successful CAF in the history of this competition. And the question is, but President, why are you saying that? No, number one, the quality of football has been world class. And it's not so important, let me say, it's more important what some of the best coaches, the best football analysts, the legends are saying about the quality of football. Remember, we will only succeed if our football is exciting and people want to pay to watch it. And I'm very excited. Mbappe came. I wasn't sure whether he was wearing Morocco, and I said, Mbappe, because your father is from Cameroon and your mother is from Algeria. Beautiful. And then Morocco played Cameroon. It complicated things a bit, but we're excited. Zizou, beautiful. Konde, Chouameni, and various other players, so proud. And to come and support the best players in Africa that we have competing against the best in the world. So the quality of football, world class. The quality of the stadiums, the infrastructure, the facilities, world class. And of course, my duty is to rotate. I want every one of the zones, the regions, there are 5 zones. I want every one of them to get an opportunity to host the top competitions in Africa. But what is non-negotiable is your football pitch must be world-class. The infrastructure must, and will help you. I mean, I took away, the CHAN was supposed to take place in February in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. I said, let's wait, and we'll move it to August because we want to give them an opportunity to spend more money, but also with the next AFCON in mind next year. So I'm very proud of what they've done. So the facilities, and that's why it's appropriate on behalf of the 54 nations whose member associations are members of CAF to really express our deep gratitude to His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, express our gratitude to the government, the people of Morocco, and of course I always feel proud of the work that my brother Fauzi is doing. I call him Fauzi, and some people say it's Fuzi, and okay, it's fine. Fauzi, perfect. And it makes me proud when ordinary people in the street say the hospitality, the warmth with which they've been received by ordinary Moroccans. It's beautiful. And then my Moroccan friend says, yeah, but President, that's part of our culture. That's part of our history. Beautiful, beautiful. I saw the flag of Morocco next, side by side with the flag of Algeria. For me, it makes me proud. I'm happy of that because we want all our people to be together. We want all Africans to be together. I saw the president of football in the DRC and the president of football from Rwanda together having a wonderful time. Beautiful. That's what we're all about, to bring all our people together. And where there are challenges, we will humbly use football to unite. And this unity, of course, is unity in the continent, but it's also a commitment to unity with Europe, with America, with Asia, with South America. On Monday morning at 3 o'clock, I'll be flying, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll be flying to Davos for the World Economic Forum, and there's 70 heads of state, and it's part of they, and of course, we are going to talk a little bit about the World Cup in America, and there's lots of things that Gianni will be there as well. Gianni apparently arrived, and our FIFA brothers. So that's beautiful. But of course, there we'll be talking about how do we bring the world together? How do we encourage more trade, more partnership in a world that is becoming increasingly divided? So, and let me just finally, because there's, let's talk about the AFCON every 4 years. Now, let me explain to you. I hear somebody smiling, but you know, a smile sometimes can be a loud smile. Let me tell you, I'm clear in my mind. I have to be in a much better situation in this new dispensation than I was in the previous dispensation. And the numbers and the figures don't lie. And the facts don't lie. Because I can have my own interpretation and say it's wonderful, it's good, but if the facts and the numbers and the data doesn't support it, then it's incorrect. So what's going to happen? We only had one competition that really made money. I want a competition every year, every year, every year. At this stage, with the exception of the year when there's a World Cup, and we're also looking at that to even have a competition in that year. Now, the AFCON is about, it used to be 20 nations, and we increased it to 24. Every year, I'm going to have 54 nations in Africa, not 24, like in the AFCON, 54. 54. And unlike what happened in the past, I'm going to have the best African players who play in Europe. We are proud of them. The best African players who play in America, proud of them. In Asia, in South America. they're going to be part of this competition every year in Africa. Now, how much do I pay for the AFCON? I think when I became president, the first prize was maybe 4 million or something, 4 million, and I immediately increased it to 5. I don't know where the 5 was going to come because we owed $150 million at the time. And then increased it again to 7 for Côte d'Ivoire and increased it again to 10. And I'm excited because I know some of those players, not the ones who play in Europe, the ones in Africa, if they get significant money, some of that money goes into their pockets. And that's what we want. So part of my objective is to make sure that in every sense, the African Nation League competes with AFCON. I don't want one fishing rod to try and catch fish for me in the sea. I want, the AFCON fishing rod was once every 2 years. I'm going to have a fishing rod every year. And part of what we want to do is, you've got to make the Africa Nations League, at the minimum, as exciting, and better still, even more exciting than the AFCON. And the judge of that is not the president of CAF, it's not CAF, it's the fans. It's you in the media. And we have to listen to you. Whether we agree or disagree is irrelevant. And sometimes what's even more important is when you criticize us. It's a learning opportunity. So we currently pay 10 million, and I shouldn't say this, so if you agree, if you promise not to write about it and keep it to yourself, I'll say it quickly. My aim is to get 10 million first prize for the Africa Nations League. Where am I going to get the money from? I'll find it. So if I've got 10 million there, and make sure that the African Nation League competes in every sense with the AFCON. But of course, the AFCON, there's a sentimental. It's like this grandmother who brought you up when your mother was working. She's got a special place in your heart, and always will have a special place in your heart. But you can't tell a grandma, go to work in a Toyota. I love Toyotas. When you can take her to work in a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz. I mean, whatever nice car. We have to improve all the time, become better, more competitive. And we have to listen to our sponsors. And of course, we've got to listen to our fans. And we also have to listen to the media. So I'm excited. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done. Part of my job is, when I'm not president of CAF, because every leader, there's a time to go and there's a time to leave. So part of my job is the president who takes over from me must find a foundation and the leadership where they can continue the good work that we've done together. No organization succeeds because of an individual or because of a president. It doesn't exist. We've got 80,000 employees in the mining companies where we are, either that we have formed as a family or where we are the biggest shareholder. 80,000 employees every day go to work. And we succeed not because of me, but because of all of these people. And we've got to look after them, motivate them. And there's another 33,000 in the financial services companies where we are. So in everything we do, we succeed because of the people we have the privilege to work with. And I'm very honored that I've had the privilege to work with some good people. And as I said, my job is to make sure that, I don't know, a few years down the line when I'm not president of CAF and I look at the leadership, and they should say, together we've laid a good foundation and they must continue. Because I think a lot of the successes of what we are doing, the results will be seen a few years down the line. So have I forgotten anything?
May I, President?
Just remind me quickly.
100%, President. I mean, you spoke about the results here when you took over AFCON, making $5 million. Today, sitting at revenues of $200 million. And for the first time, you've got ticketing revenue. I mean, when you came in from zero, today, $55 million on revenue, ticketing alone.
Well, the question is, where's all that money going? And that money has to go to where it's supposed to go. Young boys and girls, academies. We donated $10 million from the Moutsepe Foundation for schools football in Africa. Get schools football going. There's about 100,000 schools that participate. We're going to have millions of young Africans playing in these competitions. So, and of course, ethics, governance, integrity. I have to make sure that the sponsors are convinced that every cent that this organization makes goes where it's supposed to go. Our member associations. And of course, and we have to stop employing people at CAF who, who are there because it's a job. They must be there because they are well paid, well appreciated, and we want the best and the smartest. And I'm always disappointed when an employee comes and says, I enjoy my job, but I was offered more money by your competition. So I'm also proud that we've significantly increased the salaries of the staff, and there's a commitment to do more. I'm going to repeat the prize money. Of course, sorry, one quick issue. Women's football, very, very important. I can say all the wonderful things. It really means nothing if on the ground there isn't quantifiable, accessible success. We've spent a lot of money on women's football. It's coming up. I'm so proud. And it'll keep growing. So I just want to conclude by saying that I want to thank the media. Have I forgotten anything?
No, President.
I haven't. President, have I forgotten anything? No. General Secretary?
President, no.
Madame Bestine? Okay. So as I said, part of this thing is to give for us an opportunity for you to ask whatever question you may want to ask. And we will see you next year in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. And let me say this. We have a duty. My duty is to Africa. It starts there. But my second duty is I can only promote Africa if in those areas where we have to work together with the world, with Europe, with America, with Asia, with South America, in those areas we have to work together. The success of football in Europe is good. I want Europe, I want America, I want Asia, I want their football in those countries to keep growing and keep succeeding. And I'm clear that in Africa, we are going to keep growing and keep succeeding. So I just want to, in conclusion, say once more, use gratitude to the people of Morocco. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup to the people of Morocco. This is the spirit of Africa. Bring us all together. They took me to a university here in Morocco. 48 African countries have got students at that university. Beautiful, beautiful. 88 countries from outside, worldwide. So there's another 40 countries that have got students. We are part of a world where we have to work together. Our growth is the growth of all of us together. And then there's something else which might come back later. But, and of course, I want to thank the government, and as I said, thank His Majesty, King Mohammed VI. May God assist him, and thank the government, and thank our brother Fauzi. There's one other point that they reminded me about. It just slipped my mind. Hopefully it'll come back when we take all the questions, okay? So just one final thing. I hope we've tried to look well after the media. we're not doing you a favor when we treat you with respect and with the dignity you deserve. It's our duty. And I want to thank you for, there's 190 countries, 190. The official number is 180, but we are told that there's 10 others where they've got access in ways that they only know how, that have been watching African football. We're enormously grateful, and we're grateful for you because you've carried some of that, and it's to a large extent because of you. And thank you for being with us, and if there are ways that we can make your stay with us better, please let us know. Because we will be together next year. We'll be together during the year, and you've got a job to do. We have a job to do. We have a duty to try and help you in executing your job. It's good for us. You're not doing us. We're not doing you a favor. Okay, are we ready for questions now?
قبل المغادرة لا تنسوا الاشتراك في قناة العمق المغربي وتفعيل الجرس ليصلكم كل جديد، ولا تنسوا مشاركة الفيديو والضغط على زر الإعجاب.